start off with the tax levy. The tax cap is a multi-step calculation. The important thing here is to look down the bottom. The most we go out is $113,596,000 change. We're going to be up about $110,000. So the vote this year here is going to be a simple majority, 50% plus one vote. Sources of revenue for our budget. We're going to use appropriated reserve. What this is here is our workers' compensation reserve. Our actuarial report in says we have to bring it down by a little bit. So we're going to use that to offset the cost of workers' compensation in the 18-19 year. State aid, we're up over last year. You see that almost 57% of the revenue we have comes from the state of New York. Our tax levy is $110,864,396, a little over 40%. And then we have the various miscellaneous revenues, which we'll talk about in a minute. State aid, you can see over the 17-18 year, we're up $3.2 million. A lot of it came in with our foundation aid, and then our special services are up a little bit, and all the rest of the aids are all generated as how we spend money in the current year. Miscellaneous revenues, pilots are payments in lieu of taxes. That's up a little bit this year over last year. It does affect our tax gap on that, but again, we're not going up on our money. Interest and penalties, these are the people who pay late on their tax bills. We make interest and penalties on that. City school districts have a utility tax. We talked about $1.8 million a year. Reimbursements, these are the items that we get reimbursed from return on our bills from the previous year. This is our refund for BOCES. We have an interfund transfer, which is our indirect costs from all our grants. This takes care of the back room, our payroll, and our accounts payable, and our purchase order system. Miscellaneous reserves, and then again, appropriated reserves. Miscellaneous reserves, just under $8 million. The three-part budget, this is something we have to put out by law. Shows the difference between the administration, which is the payroll, business office, the principal's, superintendent's office, and that program is anything that touches the student in the classroom, transportation, we have the school program, athletics, and capital is our building maintenance, custodial, and the money we pay for the bonds we have purchased in the past. Things to remember, May 15th, noon to 9 is voting. There's 9 locations, 3 each in each of the communities, the town of Newburgh, city of Newburgh, and the town of Windsor. 7 items on the agenda for that night. School district budget is going to be $275,654,391. Number 2 on the referendum is the library budget, $5,578,058. Next one is to be school board members. There are 4 seats open. There are 6 candidates running. They're listed in the order that they're on the ballot. There is 1 incumbent on the ballot. Also on there is a veteran school board exemption. This is a non-binding referendum from the public. We also have the sale of the Washington Street Elementary School. There's a capital reserve, a second capital reserve that we're asking to create. And then there's a transportation for the high school for the city students going from 1 mile to a half mile. Again, remember, this is a state line. Even if you're not a member of the Newburgh community, all the school district budgets are open on that day. And at this point here, we're open to any questions from the public. Thank you. I got to say one thing. This is the first time I've done it to a packed house. Thank you very much.
They're all there for you, Mr. Kern.
We're now up to the superintendent's portion of the agenda. Dr. Padilla.
Thank you, Madam President, and good evening, everyone. It's always great to see as many people that we have here tonight. And so the reason why we have this many people here tonight is because you clearly wanted to know about the budget, right? The other reason is we're here to celebrate our most precious asset in the school district, and that's our scholars. And so I'm going to ask Dr. Hatfield to come on up and she will give us an overview of the elementary spelling bee winners and what that process entailed. And she will also be announcing the math meet winners for Ms. Will.
Good evening. Good evening, Madam President, Dr. Padilla, members of the board, and the school community. I'm going to start with the spelling bee winners. The elementary spelling bee finals of the Newburgh BOE City School District consisted of an oral contest of 4th and 5th grade scholars. These scholars advanced to this contest by successfully competing in a preliminary written spelling contest held at their elementary schools. The final contest on March 22nd consisted of a list of oral words covering a range of subject matter. On behalf of curriculum and instruction, we would like to thank the classroom teachers and building principals for their support in this. Additionally, I would also like to thank the district's reading teachers and primary literacy specialists for their participation and support. Without them and their commitment to learning, this event would not have been possible. Certificates have been distributed to all participants at the elementary level. Tonight, however, we'd like to honor the top 3 performers. The 3rd place finisher, a 5th grade scholar from Gidney Avenue, Amaya Cisco. Please come on up. The 2nd place finisher, a 5th grade scholar from Bonneville Elementary, Xavier Stewart. We will get Xavier his award.
He's studying his word.
He's studying. And our 1st place finisher, a 4th grade scholar from Temple Hill Academy, Jameer Rock. Newburgh BOE City School District took place on November 17th, December 15th, and January 18th of this school year, with the scholar-selected slogan of the only angle with which to try a problem is a triangle. During these 3 meets, scholars from each of the 9 elementary buildings were placed on teams that represented the district and competed by working collaboratively to solve common core-based word problems. I would like to thank the building leaders, the classroom teachers, the AIS math teachers, and the Director of Mathematics for their work and support of this unique opportunity. Tonight, I have the distinct honor to present our district's 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place team for the 2017 and 18 school year. Our 3rd place mathematicians are the Geodashers. Please come on up when I call your name. Sion Walsh, Alexia Alexia, Gloria Adejulo, Emily Leonard, Solana Solar, Logan Lito, Emma Lewis, Sean Gonzalez, and Gabriel Argento. Majid, Layla Best, Ryan Cruz, Sophia Trin, Andy Loon, Carly Hurley, Kawarjak Amat. As they enter grade square root of 36 next year.
Thank you, Dr. and thank you to Ms. Squarely. Before I move on, do we have any teachers here? If you could stand up. Well, we have South teachers here. Any other teachers? If you're a teacher, if you could stand up, please. You guys all know what this week is?
Teacher Appreciation.
National Teacher Appreciation Week. And we cannot do this work. We cannot touch the lives of our scholars. Our district cannot move forward and do the critical work of preparing our scholars for college and careers without the expertise, the commitment, the dedication of our educators. So if you could join me and give them a round of applause. Thank you, Madam President. So we also have other presentations for this evening. Over the course of the year, we've engaged in this thing called the one thing philosophy. And it was a way to really push our principals and our schools to think about a critical priority that they would see from the beginning of the year all the way through the end and consider targets and leading and lagging measures, to really think about how to take something and go really deep with that particular priority. Many of our schools chose instructional priorities, others chose things around school organization. And so this evening, for our one-day presentation, we have South Middle School. As you can see, they're all wearing their South shirts in the back. And they will be led in this presentation by Ms. Vaughn, our South Middle School principal. So Ms. Vaughn will now sing.
Oh, that's okay.
First of all, I'd like to thank the board, superintendent, senior staff for allowing us this opportunity to present South Middle School's one thing.
Hi, I'm Janet Missy. I'm the lead teacher at South for English, part of the school leadership team. After our needs assessment, we decided that what we really need to focus on is our supporting students socially and emotionally. And so our first order of business was establishing an SEL committee. So first thing over the summers, we met as a committee and we started looking at some research-based programs that we could possibly use as a starting and jumping off point for what we're going to implement into our school. We looked at a bunch of programs from the Wallace Foundation, looking at various programs that were going to support students in our grade level, but also with our particular population.
I'm Janice Greenock, part of the same committee. First, we eliminated the programs that weren't geared specifically toward middle school students and those programs for which no measure of effectiveness at the middle school was available. We then reviewed evidence-based middle school programs and systematically winnowed it down to the 4 we thought were the most promising and would meet the needs of our students. The programs that were explored and eliminated from consideration are including those listed here. While all research programs addressed social emotional learning, those eliminated lacked the evidence of effectiveness on the middle school level, did not offer different lessons for different grade levels, were not as comprehensive in terms of frequency of lessons, and some had not been implemented in communities that face the challenges that our students contend with.
So what we did decide on was something from the Morningside Center for Teaching Social Responsibility. We looked at this program outside of the research, partly because Mr. Donaldson, our new guidance counselor, had some experience with it, partly because I had heard of it from a colleague of mine at the Hudson Valley Writing Project, who had experience with them as well. So when we brought it to the table, we did some research. We looked at figuring out if this was going to be a program for us. And one of the things that we really liked about this program was that not only did we want to see that it fit for us, but they wanted to see if we fit for them. We had to interview with them as well. So one of the great things about the Morningside Center and the Restore 360 is that it has a lot of statistics proving that it will work not only with our population, but also with our grade level. It's a proven record with middle school, and they come in, do a bunch of training for us, really one-on-one work, and we've just started that program.
Okay. So 30 South Middle School staff members are currently in the process of training and implementing the program. During the 2018-19 school year, some 30 more faculty and staff will be trained, expanding the circle of educators implementing Restore 360 at South.
Restore 360 is more than just a program with arbitrary lessons that will go into each classroom and work with teachers that have nothing to do with anything else. One of the reasons why we chose Restore 360 is because it's a change in the way we interact with students and a change in the way we interact with each other. It teaches the language and the mindset of emotional building and social relationships. It focuses on restorative practices, on providing opportunities to build these relationships, to work in circles and talk about our feelings and what those feelings mean, to work through our differences. After our first training, we were so inspired to get going, but realized our next training wasn't going to be until a month later. And so we really wanted to keep going. We received a box of tools that we could use, including this book called America Street, which was used in some of the lessons. So we formed a book club, page 360. In our first meeting, we read through Raymond's Run, chose some lines that spoke to us, and began a discussion about how these stories can not only be used to teach social emotional learning, but also how they can help teach us communicate with our students. Topics such as gender roles, reputations, home versus school responsibilities, and competition were all brought up in our 1-hour meeting. So after some snacks and some coffee, we decided to meet again the following week.
While perusing through some of the programs and trying to find out which one would be advantageous as far as for our school and our students, it was suggested that we do home visits, and it was done with like a dual purpose. One was to help to forge like a partnership with the parents. Another was to find out through the parents what were some of their, what did they see as an issue or concern with some of their children. When we did our home visits, we were kind of like greeted with apprehension at first, but once we posted on what our purpose was, finding out what were some of the questions, comments, concerns that they had as far as from us as a school, as a teacher, as a new administration, what were some of the issues that they found concerning their children. They were much more receptive, and from some of the feedback that we had gotten from the parents during the visit, it kind of like supported as to why, solidified why we chose Restore 360.
Hello, Alex Sokolinski, first year English teacher, 8th grade over at South Middle School. Today we are here to talk about My Brother's Keeper. My Brother's Keeper is an initiative that was signed by President Obama in February 2014. Recently, it was signed in order to address opportunity and achievement gaps that young men of color face. Newburgh recently accepted this challenge this year, and South Middle School really jumped in. We took this challenge head on. We targeted a group of young men who faced academic, behavioral, and attendance issues, and we began our work with them on a weekly basis, 3 days a week, to support them socially and emotionally.
Good evening, my name is Kareem Donaldson, new school counselor at South Middle School. To follow up on Mr. Sokolinski's point, our in-school interventions included but are not limited to daily restorative circles during students' lunch periods, after school, and those circles focused on community building, reflection, discussions, and overall dialogue necessary to support the overall growth of many of the young men that are faced with many challenges. We focus on leadership development, focusing on their public speaking skills, presentation, writing. We meet with students to discuss academic goal setting, particularly SMART goals. We identify barriers to their success and support them in the development of strategies to overcome these same barriers. We assist them with their homework. We also guide students through conflict resolution, through role playing, problem solving, and collective feedback to develop plans of action to support them in making better decisions. We utilize YouTube for motivational speeches. Eric Thomas and Tony Robbins have been popular speakers that we've used to motivate them during challenging times, and we've also empowered them to develop motivational speeches to inspire each other. So later in the presentation, you'll see video footage of one student in particular. We've also utilized basketball as a tool to leverage the honing and development of these non-cognitive skills that are essential to their success in school, including discipline, sportsmanship, resilience, teamwork, collaboration, etc. Outside of the school community, We've taken students to Marist College one time per month, beginning in February, and we immersed them in campus life through campus tours. We connected them with the Higher Education Opportunity Program staff, as well as students. They connected with Division I athletes. Many of our young men aspire to play Division I athletics, but don't have a clear understanding of the NCAA clearinghouse. They don't have an understanding of the hard work necessary in the classroom to facilitate the recruitment of them on different sports teams. So they connected with these athletes that also spoke to their challenges and what was necessary for them to overcome their struggles. We also forged a partnership with students on campus who are looking to mentor them on an ongoing basis. So we're excited about that work, and we plan on continuing that for the next academic year.
Along with the work that we do in school to help students succeed and try to inspire them in the future, we have tried to connect them with community-based events. One in particular being the Martin Luther King 50th commencement of his assassination, where students totally immerse themselves in stories of local civil rights leaders that were inspired by Martin Luther King Jr. and his legacy. So we continue to support our students and their engagement in community, as well as the My Brother's Keeper launch, where the student, one student in particular, he was responsible for reciting a poem to the entire audience, and then afterwards our boys from the My Brother's Keeper program worked in breakout groups where they discussed issues that were plaguing the society around them and how they could potentially work beyond those issues.
On May 14th and May 24th, we do plan on taking a group to Otisville Correctional Facility for the Youth Assistance Program, and that's designed to help them to raise awareness about the life of different inmates, their challenges that they face in middle school, high school, and beyond, decision making, and also to help them understand the impact of placement into correctional facilities and the impact on their families. And it's more of a deterrent for our students to help them understand the importance of responsible decision making. And for those who may be concerned, here in the title Otisville Correctional Facility is not the traditional Scared Straight program, but it's more of an educational experience for our students.
So when we looked at choosing our one thing, ensuring that students are socially and emotionally safe is a heavy lift. So it doesn't take just one program, it takes a multitude of programs that are honed to ensure that we meet the needs of our children. And if you look at the data, there's a great need for this. For the 2017-2018 school year, these are our removals by grade levels. And the next chart over is the in-school suspension and out-of-school suspensions, just comparing last year to this school year. There has been a reduction in suspensions, and our removals are still very high. The need is great. So ensuring a learning environment in school where students are safe both socially and emotionally in order to achieve to the highest standards is of tantamount importance to us. It's going to take hard work, but as you can see, we have a team, not just the team here, willing to do this work. We know the mission, and it rests upon us to ensure our children are successful. We would like to end our presentation of our one thing with a short video of why we do this work.
There
walk on the academy field and take care of their families after they go to college.
Thank you, South Middle. Any questions or comments?
Board members, do you have any questions or comments for Dr. Thank you, Mrs. Vaughn, and, excuse me, Mr. Walker, yes.
I just wanted to thank you for all of your hard work. It's at this time that I'm envious of you because I know what you have to do in order to engage young people. And I know that learning takes place not only in the classroom, but in between classes, outside, in a field, anywhere, any place. I'm glad to see so many of you picking up that mantle and continuing the good work. Thank you.
Mr. Johnston?
I'd just like to comment that I'm impressed with both the rigor and the teamwork that you're bringing to this work. Thank you.
Thank you, South Middle.
So next, I'd like to call up our Director of Family and Community Engagement. Thank you, sir. Ms. Pamela Peterson. So for the second annual, right, this is the second time we're doing this. This is a new initiative.
It's okay, it's okay.
Called
It's okay.
Faces of Hope, and Ms. Peterson will give us a little context.
Sure. Madam President, Dr. Padilla, and distinguished members of the board, and senior cabinet leaders. It's my privilege to be here tonight to introduce to you our Faces of Hope for 2018. This initiative was brought forth last year through our Newburgh and Larceny School District Youth Collaborative, which is a consortium of about 20 community-based organizations and agencies across municipalities. The focus of this initiative is to honor and to recognize young people that have overcome challenges but still continue to do the very best they can, and to pull others around them up and lift them up. We have 3 outstanding awardees for this year. You will not be disappointed by these young men and the young lady that was selected. They epitomize resilience, commitment, and compassion, and they have a don't quit spirit and a pay it forward heart. This year, in 2018, we also added a Community Faces of Hope awardee who is with us tonight, and we'll introduce her this evening. So at this time, I'm going to ask that Mrs. Christine Harold and Mr. Mateo Dotto, Principal of NFA North, would please come forward to introduce the Faces of Hope for Compassion. After that, Mr. Raul Rodriguez, the Principal of NFA Maine, will introduce the Faces of Hope for Commitment and Resilience. And then we will have the presentation of our Community Faces of Hope by Ms. Lisa Silverstone, who is the Executive Director of Safe Harbors. And after that, we will have presentations.
Again, thank you for having us here this evening. Before I introduce Ms. Harold, I think one of the things that's so important tonight, especially seeing the students, the scholars before us that received awards, that it's all about our kids, it's all about our students, and sometimes we might not get the press or the positive press, but it is such an amazing time to see our scholars really achieve what they achieve, especially when they overcome challenges and continue to give back to community. So at this time, I want to introduce Ms. Harold, who will do the first presentation.
Hello, everybody. Isabel Lara Puente is an 11th grade student in Excelsior Academy at NFA North Campus. Bella is in a single-parent home with her father and has experienced significant hardships in her upbringing. She is one of our hardest academic workers and is consistent in her commitment to her education and the opportunity that she sees in earning both her high school diploma and an applied associate's degree in networking. She is consistently on the high honor roll for high school and has earned 28 college credits so far and is in an additional 17 college credits this semester while also doing high school classes, which is a lot. Isabel has a positive spirit and often works to uplift her peers when they are feeling sad or defeated. She has shown a willingness to share her story, not so others will feel pity, but to show the power of compassion in the face of adversity. I'd like to add myself that she is smart, she is selfless, and she is open-hearted. She hasn't closed down. She is always open to help others. Ladies and gentlemen, our Faces of Hope for Compassion Award winner, Isabella Lara Puente. A wonderful plaque and she didn't know about this and a little down payment on her education.
First of all, thank you for this award. To many people, to many of you most likely, I seem like a nice, smart girl who may have a bright future ahead. Don't get me wrong, all of that is true, but many events and choices, good and bad, have led me here. Right now, my life is the best it has ever been. I have a nice home, food, a helpful grandfather, and the best father I could hope for. But no, I'm not the popular girl. No, my mother doesn't live with us. No, my life has not been smooth sailing. I had a slightly dark childhood, depending on how much sadness you can stomach. I spent the first 12 years of my life in New York City. In school, I was consistently bullied and constantly afraid of being homeless. At age 12, we moved to Texas, where we lived in an extended stay hotel. I didn't see much of my dad because he was a long-haul trucker and was doing his best to provide for his family. Unbeknownst to him, I was living in a neglectful environment. Fortunately, my dad became aware of the situation and separated me and brought me back to New York. He quit his job, we moved away, and established a safer home for ourselves where I couldn't be hurt anymore. Soon we ended up in Newburgh, where we began to put together a safe life. After persevering through an unstable home, bullying, and homelessness, I became depressed. But nothing ever stopped me, not completely. I stayed true to my goals, always striving for something better than what I have now. Now I'm healthier, I'm going into National Honor Society. I have a small group of close friends who love me more than I thought I could be loved. I'm in Excelsior Academy, pursuing an associate's degree at 16 years old, the first person ever on my dad's side to be this close to earning a college degree. I teach kids about coding at the Newburgh Armory. In my free time, I write music, I help take care of my best friend's baby sister, and I cook dinner for my dad. I will be interning at IBM this summer, and I'm looking forward to continuing my education after earning both my high school diploma and my associate's degree in networking. As I get older, I hope to pass on what I've learned to others while chasing my own dreams. Thank you for reminding me that I'm doing well.
Thank you, and I would like to echo the statements made by Mr. Dodd. It certainly is an honor and privilege to be recognizing the three students this evening. I am certainly humbled. Jacob Tiger is a special young man. As a freshman, excellent standing at NFA main campus. Jacob was struck by a car early in the 17-18 school year. It was feared that Jacob may suffer permanent effects from the accident and would be unable to continue his education or have a normal quality of life. But in true warrior fashion, Jacob endured a number of surgeries, ongoing physical therapy, and some disability to not only conquer his physical challenges, but best his academic challenges. With the help of his teachers, Jacob is once again a student in excellent standing with his eye on moving into the honors program as a sophomore. Strength and resilience is measured in different ways, but Jacob Tiger is the very definition, no matter how you define it. Truly, he is a young man worthy of being awarded the Faces of Hope Resilience Award. You have a scholarship on Jacob.
Wow.
I didn't know I would be speaking tonight, but I still, in a few minutes, decided to come up with something. But I would like to start out by thanking the district. It's such a great honor for young people to be rewarded for great achievements, along with small personal victories. As Mother Teresa once said, we can't always do great things, but small things with great love. As with me, I have had neurological and visual complications from the car accident late last year. But I always decided to stay focused on academics because that is the only thing that can truly move a society or anyone forward. I have learned the most important thing is not falling, but getting back up. We have all seen many accomplishments tonight, and we still will see more in many, many different areas. But permit me to conclude my small remark by saying some of the few words I said at the Faces of Hope Reward, and refocusing my point that people tend to point at the good, bad things in Newburgh, and some of the bad people and things surrounding our area, but as Mr. Rogers from Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, I know I wasn't alive when I was on, but something. When he was growing up, he used to see bad things on the news, and sometimes we see some of the newspapers about Newburgh, and things that would scare him and trouble him. But his mother always told him to look for the helpers, for there's always someone helping. And I think NECAFC is a great group with many, many teachers, staff, board members, and I think you guys are the prime example of what he was referring to as the helpers. Thank you.
The next recipient and I go way back from our heritage days. Julius Olaton is a young man of conviction, a junior in excellent standing. Julius has not only risen to the top 5% of his class, at 16 years old, he has made his mark in his community and globally as a true servant of humanity. Julius is a member of the Safe Homes of Orange County Bystanders to Upstanders team that performs outreach to youth and families with regard to domestic violence and dating violence. As a sophomore, he volunteered with State Assemblyman to lobby for change in immigration law and county issues. He also volunteered with the Orange Regional Medical Center to learn new techniques and standards in healthcare. All of this pales in comparison to Julius's most prized project. For 2 years, Julius has run his own grassroots, nonprofit community service organization, and NBSB. The name of the organization is the Medicine for the Children's Foundation. With the assistance of more than 10 students and adults, Julius's organization assists underprivileged children around the world who don't have access to medicine. Medicine for Children canvasses the community for donations and provides youth from all over the world with food, school supplies, and over-the-counter medications. The organization's intended audience are under-resourced children, but Medicine for Children assists children in New York, the United States, and even Julius's native Philippines and NBSP. It is Julius' dream to partner with hospitals and other like-minded grassroots organizations to offer this service on the scale of the American Red Cross. Julius is an integral part of city, county, and state political change, and he is well on his way to accomplishing his dream and more. Truly, the world is better for this extraordinary young man, and we wholeheartedly recommend him for the Faces of Hope Commitment Award.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to thank the committee for the award Commitment to Community and Humanity. I'm very grateful because my volunteer work has created unparalleled happiness and joy, not only among people that have helped, but also me. I've progressed throughout my personal journey, throughout my volunteer work, that has really helped me grow as a person. The lessons learned from these experiences have proved to be essential in my personal journey. My volunteer work started when I began volunteering as a student mentor at the Newburgh Salvation Army after-school program. My role was to teach and help the children with the homework, but these students taught me more than I could ever offer. Although the students thanked me for all their help, I made sure to thank them as well for their ability to persevere and work hard, despite any obstacles that they were facing at home and in school. I began volunteering at Safe Homes of Orange County in the next summer, and I participated in the Bystanders Upstander Leadership Program. At Safe Homes, I learned about serious issues in our community, such as sexual abuse and human trafficking. As a volunteer, I was able to create posters and presentations to spread the information on sexual safety and sexual abuse to educate more of our citizens. I was also able to interact with victims of sexual abuse, and I was blown away by their courage to seek help and share their stories. Last summer, I also began volunteering at Orange Regional Medical Center in the cardiology units. I assisted patients in their waiting areas as well as the nurses and doctors on the floor. From this experience, I learned the value of teamwork and the compassion that the doctors and nurses express towards their patients. As I reflected on my volunteer work in Newburgh and Orange County, I realized that my volunteering experiences gave me more inspiration to help others on a broader scale. The relationships that I formed with the children at the Salvation Army, the victims at Safe Homes of Orange County, and the patients at Orange Regional Medical Center have been inspiring, and they led me to create a nonprofit organization called Medicine for the Children. My mission is to provide medicine for underprivileged children around the world. Our team has been able to host a project in Bhopal, Punjab, India in December of 2017, and I will be hosting a project in my parents' hometown in northern Samar, Philippines in August with the help of the mayor, vice mayor, and councilors of one of the poorest provinces in the Philippines. The inspiration for my nonprofit truly came from the relationships that I formed with the citizens of Newburgh and Orange County. I never knew that volunteering would become such a big aspect of my life, but the idea of helping others and bringing happiness to people that aren't fortunate excites me. Thank you again for this award, and I will continue volunteering with passion on the local and global levels.
It is my privilege and pleasure to be here to introduce my friend and colleague June Henley as the 2018 Faces of Hope Community recipient. June embodies compassion, grit, determination, and commitment. As Director of Programming at the City of Newburgh Housing and Arts nonprofit and an avid volunteer, connector of people, and de facto mother to so many in need, Ms. Henley has made her life's work and her life's passion in service to others. Working with a largely disenfranchised population in a critically underserved community, June's tireless advocacy, positive attitude, and uncanny ability to make connections and create opportunities among people and organizations in her community is inspiring. Ms. Henley is a fiercely loyal friend and colleague, and a competent and confident taskmaster. She's able to rally and motivate others, creating collaborations, partnerships, and programs that invigorate her community and bring a sense of pride, accomplishment, independence, and hope to others. Overcoming her own struggles, including a house fire that left her and her family with nothing, Ms. Henley is truly a face of hope, an inspiring there till the end friend and neighbor. Please help me in celebrating our friend and community member and Faces of Hope Award recipient, June Henley.
Part I hate. So I'm a collaborator. I've been called a connector of people and a de facto mother to so many in need. I've had so many people call me mom in my life that I've lost count. I've been described as a resource, a community go-to. That's because of all the collaborators, resources, connectors, and go-tos that I have in my life, my community, or as we used to call them, my posse. I'm proud of my community and everyone who's in it, and I wouldn't be who I am without each and every one of you. Thank you.
So each one of them will receive a $500 scholarship from Horizons Family Medical Group. So we say thank you to them. So if you possible, and we look forward to presenting to you next year, the Faces of Hope 2019. Have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you, just as we transition to the next one big presentation, this is our second year with this very special initiative. And I hope what you heard touched you. We have many children who overcome so many things in their lives and they're pushing forward, achieving success. So I'm also excited for next year's honorees to present to you. So again, thank you, Ms. Peterson.
Good evening, Madam President. Good evening, board members, Dr. Padilla, senior staff members, and community members. This evening, I have the distinct honor of presenting to you the one thing for the Division of Curriculum and Instruction. When we think about accountability, particularly New York State accountability, we know that grade 3 to 8 assessments come every spring, and Regents exams a few times a year. Graduation rates are always super important, but what about grades K to 2? How have we, as a community, been gauging achievement and progress objectively in the early childhood grades? Given that question, CNI has made the commitment that by June 2021, all scholars in grade 2 will read at 100% proficiency, as evidenced by our local assessments, whatever they may be at that time. In addition, at the foot of the page, you notice the second goal. And that goal has to do with math. Again, in early childhood. In order to succeed in all the other grades, we have to start at the early grades. And so for grade 2, by 2021 in math, our preliminary goal, this may change, but our preliminary goal is to see 65% proficiency for all grade 2 scholars by 2021. Another thing that we noticed as we were digging into data and peeling back the onion was that perhaps, no, it's true, we had a disconnect between central staff and school leadership. And so the first step to getting to 2021 proficiency in ELA and math would be something that we call Data Talk, a PLC that we began this year to set structures in place to forge better relationships and partnerships between school-based personnel and our district leaders. These include divisional leaders, directors, supervisors. If you take a look at the list here, the structure we set in place this year, again, is just to begin the process, the journey. We had cross-divisional plans and presentations, so it wasn't compartmentalized planning. All the conversations that have ensued this year between our school leaders, our principals in particular, and our senior staff, our directors and supervisors, has all been in an intimate setting, located at different schools, to really expose us all to figuring out, well, what's the available data? And what do we do with it? How do we organize it? How do we analyze it to make impact? We keep hearing the word impact over and over, but how are we working together and not in silos? To date, we've had a total of 2 technical assistance sessions and 6 PLC sessions. During the technical assistance sessions, we look at items that will build us in terms of using certain angles better. And during the PLC sessions, we had the opportunity to get a balance of both external vendors coming in and internal professionals, because we do have a lot of in-house talent, just building that data talk muscle for us. Here's a breakdown of what transpired between September and December between our school principals, pre-K through 12, and our divisions. And whereas we began with a mission of C&I, exceptional learners, and technology being the 3 entry points for the conversations, over time we realized that we couldn't limit the party. We brought in the superintendent's office. We brought in HR. And we had 2 cycles of very powerful conversations. And we've begun doing something that we hadn't done sooner, which is planning already now for next year. Tomorrow marks our final technical assistance session, and we're going to be talking about a few topics that are coming down the pipe. The next generation standards. What are they? How will they impact data? How will we put this out to the rest of our community together? In addition, we'll get access to a new software system that we're looking to use called Read and Write, again in partnership with another division with exceptional learners. I think this quote sums up the approach that our district is taking to data talk and its importance. We can't just go straight
for making an impact on the data, we have to prime ourselves first. Get to that sweet spot, learning together, and then chop the tree down. Thank you. Board members, are there any questions or comments? Yes, Mr. Newburgh.
Very well done.
Thank you.
I'm quite impressed with that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Felice. Madam President, that concludes my items.
Thank you, Dr. Padilla. We're now at the section of the agenda for public discussion and comments on agenda items. Please refer to the regulations regarding discussion and comments that is posted next to the sign-in sheet. We have nobody that signed up on the sign-in sheet, but would anybody like to address the board on agenda items? Okay, we're going to move on. There are no board committee reports, and I have no items, so we're going to move right on to our Deputy Superintendent, Mr. Ford.
Thank you, Madam President. I have a consent agenda this evening. Items 7.1 and 2 are presented as consent.
Would any member like to separate out any of those items? I'd like to entertain a motion, please. Questions or discussion? Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Ms. Manette?
Yes.
Mr. Menuda?
Yes.
Ms. Prokop?
Yes.
Mr. Studer?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Howard?
Yes.
Mr. Johnston? That concludes my item, Madam President. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Forget. We're going to move on to our Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction, Mrs. Felice.
Thank you, Madam President. This evening, we'd like to present items 8.1 and 8.2 as part of a consent agenda.
Would any member like to separate out any of these items? I'd like to entertain a motion, please. Questions or discussion? Roll call, Mr. Clark.
Mr. Menuda? Yes. Ms. Prokop?
Yes.
Mr. Studer?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Howard?
Yes.
Mr. Johnston?
Yes.
Ms. Manette?
Yes.
Thank you, Madam President. That concludes our CNI items for this evening.
Thank you, Mrs. Felice. We're going to move on to our Assistant Superintendent for Finance, Mr. Kern.
Thank you, Madam President. Tonight, Finance likes to offer for consent agendas items 9.1 and 9.2.
Would any member like to separate out any of these items? I'd like to entertain a motion, please. Questions or discussion? Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Ms. Prokop?
Yes.
Mr. Studer?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Howard?
Yes.
Mr. Johnston?
Yes.
Ms. Manette?
Yes.
Mr. Menuda?
Yes.
Madam President, that concludes the items from Finance for this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Kern. We're going to move on to our Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources, Mr. McLemore.
Thank you, Madam President. On the Human Resources agenda, we have items 10.1 through 10.6 on the consent agenda for your consideration.
Would any member like to separate out any item? I'd like to entertain a motion, please. Questions or discussion? Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Studer?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Howard? Yes. Mr. Johnston?
Yes.
Ms. Manette?
Yes.
Mr. Menuda?
Yes.
Ms. Prokop?
Yes.
Item 10.7 is for your information only. It's for the appointees that are coming up for tenure. Madam President, I'd like to request to add an item at this time.
May I have a motion to add an item? Would you like to read the item and then we'll have a roll call?
Yes. Be it resolved that upon recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education of the Newburgh and Large City School District hereby rescinds the following spring athletic coaching appointment as listed for the 2017-18 school year. Stephen Marrero, baseball modified boys, and appoint the following spring athletic coaching appointment, Arturo Santana, baseball modified.
Thank you. Any questions or discussion on adding? Only on adding. Roll call to add, please.
Mr. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Howard?
Yes.
Mr. Johnston?
Yes.
Ms. Manette?
Yes.
Mr. Menuda?
Yes.
Ms. Prokop?
Yes.
Mr. Studer?
Yes.
We now have this on the floor, but I'd like to entertain a motion. Any questions or discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Howard?
Yes.
Mr. Johnston? Ms. Mineo?
Yes.
Mr. Menuda?
Yes.
Ms. Brokaw?
Yes.
Mr. Stridiron?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes.
Madam President, I'd like to congratulate our newly appointed principal. He's here with his family on tonight, Jason Gerard. That concludes my items, Madam President. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McLemore, and welcome, Mr. Gerard. Okay. We're now moving to the clerk of the board, Mr. McCoy.
Thank you, Madam President. I have the approval of minutes from April 17th meeting.
I'd like to entertain a motion, please. Questions or discussion? Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Johnston? Yes. Ms. Mineo?
Yes.
Mr. Menuda?
Yes.
Ms. Brokaw? Mr. Stridiron?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Howard?
Yes.
That concludes my items, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. McCoy. We are now at the portion of the agenda for public discussion on non-agenda items. Please refer to the procedure sheet next to the sign-in sheet. Would anybody like to address the board on non-agenda items? If not, I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting. Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Ms. Mineo?
Yes.
Mr. Menuda?
Yes.
Ms. Brokaw?
Yes.
Mr. Stridiron?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Howard?
Yes.
Mr. Johnston?
Yes.
Thank you, and have a good evening. See you in 2 weeks.